Greetings, followers of the great and mighty NOOCH. Today, NOOCH has footage of Lord Vader continuing with our theme in the HSTR raids Phase 1 and 2. Is it exciting? You'll be the judge, but NOOCH will be discussing some Star Wars stuff in between. We're going to talk prequels while that's going on. Anyway, but before we get to that, you know, I have a friend, and his son, Luke, his young son, Luke, is very happy and excited that they named their children after Star Wars characters. Now, his daughter, Chewbacca, not so much. That's quality stuff right there. Now, let's watch Lord Vader in the Heroic Sith Raid Phases 1 and Phases 2. Palpatine Phases 1 and Phases 2. I don't know what that... He's losing a little bit there, but okay. So, let's go and play this video. I'm not going to set this up by saying that I've got some great, amazing footage. You know, I really just wanted to try out Lord Vader in the Heroic Sith Raid. So, I took him to Phase 1 with the regular arena team. I mixed it up a little bit in Phase 2. Not overly excited either way. You know, he's kind of... Lord Vader's kind of a combination... I feel like he's a combination of... I don't know what he's a combination of. You know, he's a tanky guy that makes his teammates tanky. And he stacks offense like Kylo, but he stacks it much slower. You know, Kylo's stacking becomes exponential as he, you know, that's why he goes from, you know, 100,000 damage to 200 to 500 to 800 to 1,000,000. You know, so him and the Heroic Sith Raid just stacks and stacks exponentially and does a lot of damage. You know, Lord Vader stacks it, but I'm not going to say it's exciting. It's not like he's going in there and getting smashed or anything. So I'll just let you watch. I'm not going to go over the mechanics. I don't know. I just kind of tried out some teams. First couple days, so I'd bring you the footage. Lord Vader with his ultimate in the Heroic Sith Raid Phases 1 and 2. Now, let's talk. By the way, I'm doing activities on the Lord Vader free-to-play account. So NOOCH started a Lord Vader free-to-play account. We're going to see how long it takes to unlock Lord Vader free-to-play. I started it a little while ago. I kind of gave up on it for a minute. Then I waited for the arena to unlock. I'm going to keep doing it. It's going to be difficult to maintain 3 accounts. So you've also got the free-to-play Kylo account. So I'm not guaranteeing that this Lord Vader account is going to be like the most efficient, because there's going to be times when with 3 accounts it's just difficult to get to them all. So we'll kind of see. We'll see how it goes. So just pay attention. Watch for some more videos about that. But if you really want to kind of see the pace and the pace and cadence and get some time frames for when you should reach certain milestones on a free-to-play account, check out the free-to-play Kylo account, because I've got on that, you know, when I reach level 85, when I unlock my first 7-star character, etc., etc., when I got guys to G12, to Relic. So there's some really good milestones in those free-to-play Kylo videos, and the Lord Vader one will be a little bit more light on that and kind of take it as it comes. It's going to be a long farm. Anyway, there you go. Hey, let's talk about the prequels. So, I remember when Phantom Menace came out, and the first thing I remember about that is the trailers. I don't remember what movie I was at. You know, this was shortly after George Lucas had released the special editions for the first movies, right, on VHS, of course, and wasn't super thrilled with all of that. I will say on the special editions, you know, the X-Wing battle outside the Death Star was certainly much improved in A New Hope. You know, that X-Wing battle at the Death Star, the special effects from 1977 were not super spectacular. They didn't age super well. They weren't like awful. They were still pretty good. You know, when you get those shots over the Death Star and the motion shots, but there were just some shots in close of the X-Wings and TIE Fighters, and they actually CGI'd those, and that was some of the more successful CGI. The whole Jabba the Hutt thing, useless, and of course Greedo firing first is just the dumbest thing that's ever been done in a movie ever. And then he keeps going, right? McClunky after that. So Anyway, getting on topic. So Phantom Menace came out shortly after that, and we were pumped. Pumped. When that trailer came out, and the first thing I remember seeing in the trailer, it's this mist. And it says, what did it say? Something like, legends are born or something. And then Gungans start emerging from the mist on their, I don't know what they are, their little beasts of burden. You know, and you're like, oh, and then they show more stuff. They showed the, you know, just really cool. The trailer was really cool. And then my buddy Cosmo, so Nooch and his buddy, it was Nooch, me, and Nooch Cosmo. We grew up together watching Star Wars, and Nooch, of course, comes from, I need to fix this, by the way. I need to fix this little meme here.
Lord Vader.
There you go. There is C-3PO and Return of the Jedi telling the Ewoks the story, their story, you know, from beginning to end. And there he says, Nooch Vader. So we called each other Nooch, as in Lord. I don't think it's Darth, really. I think it's just Lord. Anyway, so that's why we call each other Nooch. So he was in town, and we went to see Phantom Menace. Now, one thing about Nooch, I'm a hopeless optimist. You know, I really try to keep a positive mind about stuff. I know for those of you who are tuning in here recently and subscribing, it may seem otherwise because I was pretty negative about this Lord Vader launch. Oh, by the way, today, after the CG update that was supposed to be just for Conquest stuff, all of a sudden, 2 out of the 4 arena battles, Kat did not try to kill Lord Vader. She actually did kill Kylo Ren unmasked. So if you want to see the video of Nooch, right over here, this is Nooch beating Kenobi with Lord Vader. You can go see that, and that's fine. And watch that, and it, you know, it still stood, kind of, but today, I'm going to have to edit that out. But today, yeah, after the update, somehow, some way, they didn't say it, but yesterday I did that battle, like, I fought 10 arena battles, and Kat hit Lord Vader every single time when I marked him with Piet. Today, 2 out of 4 times, she hit Kylo Ren unmasked, and she hit Lord Vader 2 times. So, I don't know. I don't want to point any fingers. Maybe I just got really lucky yesterday. Seems hinky. All right. So, Cosmo came into town, and we went to see Phantom Menace, and it was 1998. So, my oldest son was just 1, so he didn't come with me. It was just me and Cosmo. And maybe my brother was there, too. I can't remember. I remember we came out of the movie, and I was like, well, you know, I'm trying to justify it, right? I'm like, oh, well, I like this and like that, and Cosmo's like, I'm not convinced. I don't know if that was, and I'm like, no, but what about this? And he's like, well, we agreed the lightsaber battle was amazeballs. I mean, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan against Darth Maul is the second best lightsaber battle ever held. So that was really cool. The rest, you know, the problem with the prequels, and we're going to talk a lot more about this as we get into making our Star Wars content. The biggest problem with the prequels, and I don't think I'm definitely not the first one to say this, is, you know, the way that movies work, you should show me. You shouldn't tell me what's going to happen. You shouldn't explain what is happening in the. Just show me. You know, just show me. Have some acting. Have the scene. Explain what's going on. You know, I don't need I don't need Padme and Anakin to be saying the dumbest lines ever about falling in love. I just need them to be falling in love. In fact, it would have been much more interesting if it was like Empire Strikes Back, where Leia and Han are falling in love as they're battling the Empire, as they're hiding in a cave, as the Millennium Falcon is breaking down over and over, and they're facing adversity. They're falling in love through difficult, challenging adversity. And when we get to, you know, Attack of the Clones, I don't even know what that was about. You know, they're sitting on the veranda talking about sand. There's nothing going on. He's cutting really bad CGI piers that apparently cost like $5 million. I don't know. They're rolling on Naboo cows. It just makes no sense. And they can't, you know, sitting by the fireplace, dressed really uncomfortably, lusting for each other. So, I don't know. I don't really get all that. I will say, so as we're going through the prequels, first of all, I have a brand new appreciation for I was never a huge prequel fan. Revenge of the Sith, I like. I don't like it as much as some of you probably do. A lot of people think, especially younger people probably think it's the best Star Wars movie. I think you're mistaken there by a pretty wide margin. Keep an eye out for a video later next week. But, you know, it's definitely the best of the three by a pretty wide margin again. But when, what was I even talking about? I don't know. I'm jumping around here. So, I gained a new appreciation. You know, the one thing that J.J. Abrams did with Last Skywalker is to give NOOCH a brand new appreciation for the prequels. So, I remember I came back from the second time seeing Last Skywalker, and I'll be totally honest. As I said, NOOCH is the eternal optimist. I really wanted to see Last Skywalker. I decided before I saw it, I'm going to not have any expectations. I'm just going to say, I expect nothing out of this movie, so whatever I get will be a surprise. So I went the first time, and I just didn't care, and I kind of had some fun just relaxing and watching it. Second time, I'm going to have to edit that out too, man. So I was going into airplane mode there. I should have edited that out before I came in, but we'll fix that. Second time I saw it and got done, I just wondered what this dumpster fire of a movie has done to the thing that I love the most. Well, not the most. Well, the thing that I love the most, right? It's not the person, the thing. And so I came home and I was like, man, this is bad. So I pulled up, you know, the first like minute of Phantom Menace, and there he is, Darth Sidious, wiped them out. All of them. Immediately, you know, you have a complete story arc from beginning to end in the prequels. There's a definite beginning, and you're exposed to Darth Sidious. You're exposed to Darth Maul. You're exposed to Anakin. You're going to watch all these journeys go through. He's going to fight the bad guy. You know who the bad guy is. There's just a straight story arc all the way from the beginning to end. You know what's going on. And, of course, the sequels... We're just, here we go. We got 45% damage. I don't know if it started at 0. So 45% damage in tier 1 of HSTR. It's fine. You know, you can do that by trying really hard, sometimes with gas or even Jedi training Rey. So there are teams get, you know, you can even get more with gas, I think, if you really focus. So, okay. Now we're starting at 64% in phase 2. I have a little more hope for phase 2. Rebellions are built on hope. That's a weird line too, right? Like there's rebellions all the time. Like we know what rebellions are built on. I mean, like when a teenager rebels against their parents, are they hoping for something? I think they're just kind of mad that their parents are, you know, telling them to do anything at all. So I don't know. That's rebellion, by rebellion, teenagers rebelling. Anyway, so this second tier seems to have a little more hope in it. I was actually stacking up some pretty good damage by the end of it. But still, you know, the problem is that he doesn't stack fast enough to do damage before they become enraged. You know, he really doesn't do that. Kylo's still the runaway winner of the Heroic Sith Raid. Again, by a wide margin. We're doing a lot of things by a wide margin today. So back to the prequels. So I remember episode 1, you know, trying to justify it, and then I saw it the second time, and you're like, yeah, this is pretty disappointing. There's a whole lot, you know, all 3 of the movies. Man, George should have handed over the script writing to somebody else, and maybe the directing, like he did with Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Just let's have the ideas, have the creative control, keep the direction of the movies going, let somebody else write the script and direct the movies. I mean, we could have had a lot better stuff going on, but we didn't. You know, I just think of all the, you know, we got to explain midi-chlorians and we never talk about them again. And nobody needed that. We didn't need to have midi-chlorians explained. Nobody cares. We didn't, the Force is magical. It's that ancient story of magic and old wizards and evil wizards that used to be the good guy and now have converted to the bad guy and are redeemed at the end. It's the young man's journey. He didn't know he was a prince. Now he's a prince. It's the princess falling in love with the pirate. It's the 2 goofball sidekicks who really are kind of useless, but every now and then accidentally fall into something useful, although R2 doesn't. That's more C-3PO than R2, but it's it's the faithful companion, the dog, the the one that stands by the pirate side no matter what. It's the lackeys, all the lackeys of the bad guy, and then his evil master in the background pulling all the strings. I mean, it is all of these ageless, timeless themes that you get through Star Wars. And I don't even know how I got into this. I keep losing track. So whatever. Oh, so, let it play out. I don't need you to explain to me what midi-chlorians are. I accept that. It's okay for me to accept that there are things I don't know. And I think that's a problem. I think that's a challenge with the Star Wars community at large. And maybe it's a side effect of the internets, right? The interwebs, is that we want encyclopedias for everything that happens. We want to have, explain to me where Wookiees came from, who was the first Wookiee that ever adorned Kashyyyk, and what are all the biomes on Kashyyyk, and can you tell me how many species of bug life live there? It's turned into a lot like Star Trek in that fashion. And I kind of want Mark Hamill, there's an old Saturday Night Live sketch where William Shatner stands up in front of a crowd of Trekkies at a convention, and he says, how much more time we got on this video here? Oh, we still got 4 minutes. And he just tells them, people, get a life. And it's hilarious because they're all dressed up with their Spock ears and their red shirts because they're gonna be the first to die. I kind of want Mark Hamill to go to one of these Star Wars conventions sometimes and maybe say the same thing. That stuff's not important. And I get it. Okay, I'm insulting someone. Sorry. Let's back up. It's fine if it's important to you. I get it. I just don't get the vitriol. I don't get the anger. I really don't understand, there's that Mike Zero guy that publishes videos and, Star Wars is Kathleen Kennedy wants to kill just stupid garbage, because Kathleen Kennedy was in charge of The Mandalorian. She gave all the creative control over to, Favreau and Filoni, and that turned out really well. She should have thought of that for the sequels, maybe. Maybe that would have been much better if she just put Favreau and Filoni in charge of the sequels. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if Favreau and Filoni were in charge of the sequels? Holy cow, that would have been amazing. Because what they did with Mandalorian, it's a good mixture of storytelling plus some fan service, and anyway, and instead what you get with the sequels that exist is zero fan service, like anti-fan service, like you're fans and you suck, and everything you believe about Star Wars is wrong. We're gonna change it all. And then really bad storytelling on top of that, which stinks because they got really good actors, right? Like Daisy Ridley was great, and I mean, clearly Adam Driver is going to be maybe the next big thing, and how he's going to be the Harrison Ford out of this group. And I don't know. Well, Hux is doing all right. He was Weasley. Anyway, well, back to the prequels. We're talking about the prequels. So I remember. I guess I only got one more thing here. We don't have much time left in this video. I got 2 minutes. So, NOOCH remembers eventually accepting Phantom Menace was just okay at best and probably not that great. Now, for Attack of the Clones, I took the oldest NOOCH Jr. By that time, he was 4. Went and saw that movie. I feel like that movie gets a really bad rap. There's some really cool things in it. The Obi-Wan Jango Fett fight is really cool. The problem is that in between the cool stuff, there's nothing. Long periods of nothing happening. And other explanations of politics and all that. It's just garbage. But you got the cool Obi-Wan Jango fight. You got the funny Destic scene. That whole opening scene, where they're chasing after I can never remember her name. What starts with a C? Oh my gosh, you guys. She turns into a lizard. She's a bounty hunter. She tries to kill Padme. She dies. I'm looking up her name here now in the game. I can never remember it. Zam Wessel. That whole scene is really cool, and then Jango kills her. I mean, that's a really good scene. The Jango Obi-Wan fight is really cool. The revealing the clones is really cool. We never really get Master Sifo-Dyas explained, but again, whatever. That's it wasn't that great in context. It was kind of this random. Yeah, that was a weird one. But I distinctly remember this. That we were completely jazzed to see Yoda in action. Like, that was the focus. We're going to see Yoda actually have a lightsaber battle. And it's just a granted today. And we look at that lightsaber battle as probably the weakest of the three. You know, it just doesn't quite, it's got, you know, some of the samurai stuff, and it just doesn't quite work. But I remember in the theater watching Attack of the Clones for the first time, probably on opening day, with my 4-year-old NOOCH Jr. And when Yoda pulls his cloak back and raises his lightsaber to his hand with the Force, the place just starts, it's like a mixture of joy and also laughing. Everybody's getting excited. There's noise throughout the theater. And then when he just starts flying around and flipping and nonstop, it's just, he is everywhere. The whole place is laughing because it is funny, but you're laughing with so much joy that Yoda is flipping around the theater, flipping around the screen, having a lightsaber duel with Count Dooku. That was a moment of great joy from Attack of the Clones when it happened. In that moment, I distinctly remember the joy that the entire audience felt, and that was a lot of fun. So we'll come back to more talks later. You know, I told you we're going to start talking about this stuff. So anyway, there's the results of Phase 2 of the Sith Raid. Again, I'm not coming out with some big secret, say, hey, I figured out the secret. I'm just showing you a very initial gameplay of Lord Vader in the Heroic Sith Raid Phases 1 and 2 doing all right. He does all right. Nothing special for a Galactic Legend. He does about as well as any other Galactic Legend or Jedi Training Rey or some other teams you can put together with Gas or other teams you can put out there. So that's it, guys. Thanks for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. Always remember, you know, you come back. We're going to have a lot more of these Star Wars discussions. We're going to have some really Star Wars-centric videos as well. But we will keep the game content coming. I think Lego Star Wars, I'm guessing next Friday Lego Star Wars Battles isn't going to come out. And NOOCH will be live streaming that night with that. So that's all we got, guys. Hey, have a good day. And always remember, NOOCH too good.